history of our country any alignment between Republican or Democrat in the stock market. Stock market went up huge for Clinton. It went up huge for Obama. It went up big for Trump. There's never been a connection. But I was warned, Biden's president. The stock market will crash. It's funny. Mine have gone up for like a week and a half straight. I don't know. We didn't get any credit for that. Nobody ever said he did. Never buy political pundits on either side of the party that tell you the stock market's tied to a party. It's never been. My whole life, I've been investing for 40 years. It doesn't matter what party's in the White House. Eventually, that puppy goes up. There's my rant for the day.
It could be because there's an election every 4 years, and then we change, and then we continue on as a country.
Doesn't
there's
matter.
Another election, and then someone else will win, and then we'll continue on doing what we do every single day.
Every party likes to put, our party. Stock market goes up. It's at 31,000. It was years ago. It was at 6. It'll eventually go up.
Are we weird? I have never.
No, you and I are not weird.
Okay, I mean, I don't care if I am weird, but I've just never felt like a deep, darkening desire to like have to be a part of something that everybody else is doing.
You and I are both very. My wife's the same way. We're all very independent thinking. I would never join any club.
Maybe I think I'm just like I'm too arrogant.
Same here.
Like, wait, I'm supposed to do what you're telling me to do? I don't think so.
You join my party.
You're going to follow me.
I'm not going to join your.
I'll take your suggestions, but that's based off of like a long resume of proven success. Other than that, just do your job.
Crazy. I would never want to be part of any political party. How about Colin's new party? Common sense prevails. Independent thinking. I'm the president. Just pick a side that's not Looney Tunes. Joy with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
All right. Well, Aaron Donald is feeling good despite suffering torn rib cartilage in last week's win over the Seahawks. Our very own Colin Cowherd is having some rib issues of his own.
I went to a physical therapist yesterday. It was the most painful experience in a long time, but it was also helpful.
Yeah, we talk about rehab all the time, very casually. Rehab is the hard part of an injury. The initial injury hurts, obviously.
Yeah.
But rehabbing that injury is awful.
Yesterday was literally a knife in my ribs all day long. Just
you did that. I can't remember what it's called, but it looks like a knife, and they rub it on your skin. It's brutal.
I would cry if it wasn't a woman doing it, and I didn't want to humiliate myself. I would have just cried for an hour.
I did. It hurts. Well, anyway, he said he's feeling fine. He did not practice on Wednesday and admitted his side was a little sore, but he said he has no pain. He feels healthy and strong, and he's going to be ready to play in Green Bay on Saturday. Fox Bet has the Packers favored by 6.5. That line might change because we're still waiting to find out what's going on with Goff and Wolford.
I'm going to go with Goff's going to start. I don't have any insight here, but I'm going to go with Goff's going to start because Wolford's not practicing, and Sean McVay's not going into a game without a quarterback.
Well, it's also a neck injury over a thumb injury, and I'm not a doctor, but we saw Goff play through it last week.
And he's got to be better 7 days later.
Well, or worse. I mean, he wasn't supposed to play. Wolford was supposed to play, but they are banged up at that position. John Wolford, obviously, the neck injury. Cooper Kupp, he has a knee injury. He didn't practice. Obviously, Andrew Whitworth is still coming back from that knee injury, but he was limited, and Goff was a full participant. So it does look like, to your point, that Goff is going to get the start. But I think, obviously, the biggest point on this team, other than Goff, obviously, is Aaron Donald being 100% healthy, because their defense is what's going to keep them in this game and make it competitive if they can. Again, I think that this is an easy win for the Packers. If the Packers don't melt down, that's what's going to happen. I'm not dismissing what the Rams have been able to do so far, but they've just got a lot of injuries to overcome. So, oh my God, the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, obviously been with the organization for 17 years. Huge loss to the Browns, and there's a lot of questions about how much longer he can do this. Well, he still has one more year in his contract. Details I'll get to in a second. But Mike Tomlin would not give a completely firm answer on whether he's coming back.
I don't have a clear assessment of the overall impact of the cap ramifications, so I might not have a direct answer to your question, but I think it's reasonable to assume that there's a chance that he's going to be back, certainly.
He has a $41.25 million cap hit in 2021.
Then he's going to be back. I think it's over, but it's you're kind of trapped. It's probably the wrong word, but I feel like you're trapped with Big Ben. He is what he is. He's not going to be in great shape. You're trapped. I don't think you and I could be wrong on this. When they made that big, Kevin Colbert re-signed him, I think we were both kind of surprised by it. It was a lot of money. It was post Le'Veon Bell era, Antonio Brown drama. They signed him to a big contract. I don't remember my reaction, but it was like 3 years, and he was aging poorly. And
what surprised me is that they have no backup plan. Mason Rudolph is not a starting quarterback in this league. What are we all watching here? Am I watching a different game?
Because Ben's too insecure to handle a backup. I mean, seriously.
Whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm very callous. This is the way it goes. Like, you eventually get replaced. This is the NFL. Like, this is how, you're not going to play forever. This is not how it works.
Drew Brees deserves credit for being able to handle Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill. Like, Drew Brees is aging. He's like, even Brady didn't like Garoppolo. Like, Drew Brees has been like, all right, bring in whatever.
Well, at least to Brady's credit, that was years ago. Like, a lot has happened since then. Like, he was right in that situation.
Yeah, he was right. He's got a lot of years left.
A lot of years left. And Drew Brees is clearly, retiring. Like, this is it. So it's a very different situation. He has the highest cap hit of any quarterback. If he was to retire, the Steelers have to carry $22.25 million in dead cap. They also have Juju Smith-Schuster, Bud Dupree, James Conner, and Mike Hilton as free agents. They have 26 other total free agents, so the team could look completely different next year. They also parted ways with the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, and defensive backs coach. I don't know what to make of the Steelers moving forward.
Well, here's what I know to make out of them. Stefanski looks like a really good coach, and Baltimore's humming, and Joe Burrow's coming back. So my takeaway with Pittsburgh is you can rest on your laurels, but the rest of the division is getting better. Cleveland's getting better. Cleveland got the right coach. Whether you like Baker or not, they got the right coach.
I mean, they have Baker, too. They're not moving off Baker. Baker just won a playoff game.
Seems to me
Pittsburgh won 11 games this season.
Brand is way better than the football.
You've got to figure out what you're going to do at the quarterback position moving forward. So James Harden got his wish and was traded from the Rockets to the Brooklyn Nets. But before the news broke, DeMarcus Cousins didn't hold back his feelings on how things went down in Houston.
Obviously, it's disrespectful, but everybody has a right to their opinion. We feel a certain type of way about some of his actions. He can feel however he wants to feel with the organization or whatever his current situation is, but the other 14 guys in the locker room have done nothing to him. So for us to be on the receiving end of some of the disrespectful comments and antics, it's completely unfair to us.
That's the one thing about what Harden did is, even if I was going to leave Fox, I would still give my best effort the last show. Like, the idea that I'm just going to mail it in, I just don't love that. I think you just have to. Brady fought his butt off his last day in New England, and it sounded like he knew a year out he was leaving. But he gave you everything he had to the last play. I'm not a big fan of the way Harden left.
It's disrespectful.
He came in out of shape.
I mean, that's what DeMarcus said is not wrong. It's disrespectful.
Right.
You're on this team. You owe it to, if no one else, your teammates.
Yes. Forget the city and the owner, and to your teammates.
To your teammates. Everybody in every business goes through situations with their business, with their bosses, with their contract negotiations, with whatever's going on. At the end of the day, you have a responsibility to the person next to you to do your best work. Otherwise, that's a reflection of who you are as a person. Quite frankly, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You can be mad at your bosses, you can be mad at everything. But if you're going to come into work in a situation like this where you actually have physical teammates relying on you to give your best effort, and you're throwing the ball out of bounds, you're coming in out of shape, you're not coming up to practice, you're not communicating with anybody, literally throwing a fit on the way out of, by the way, and I'm not defending the organization, but they did everything that you asked, which might have been their mistake.
By the way, they did everything you asked 3 different times.
Right.
They did.
But you controlled every aspect of the organization.
Practice time, when's the Jets leave? It's just, again, the Texans have some fundamental issues, and I think they've made horrible trades, but there have been good players there. Deshaun has had some support, and he's done the best he can with it. The Rocket support's been unbelievable. Deshaun's got some complaints, and they're valid. And some of the trades have been insane with Deshaun Watson. They've been missteps. So I get his anger. But at some point, James Harden has to go, yeah, they got me Howard and Chris Paul. But by the way, even getting John Wall. Well, I mean, he's a player. He's an all-star level player.
I don't think he did any, and maybe he doesn't care, but I don't think he did his legacy any.
Oh no, it didn't.
Any favors? The way that things fell apart in Houston? Because I didn't love what was put together in Houston, but they certainly did everything they could. Certainly had good players there, and you didn't make it happen. And most of the postseason meltdowns or on you.
Yeah, right.
Like, you're the guy,
Yeah.
you're the guy, then you're supposed to make it happen.
Yeah.
And now you're in a situation where all the pressure's on you. You've got Katie, yourself, and Kyrie. Steve Nash,
Yeah.
you better win.
Good stuff, Joy, with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
You know,
The Herd Lie News.
it is funny with, I was thinking about this last night. I was having a conversation with somebody, and Steve Sarkisian, new Texas coach last hour, I was thinking about this. I really am, nothing against Belichick, but I really am rooting for Brady in this divorce because we should root for him because we're just employees. Belichick's part of the ownership fabric group, right? Like, that's management. And in the end, you see this a lot where big corporation pays employee, but they think we're fine without him. And that's what the Patriots felt. And Tom's like, no, I think I'm one of those transformational guys that, like Tiger Woods to the PGA, I think you need me more than you believe. And the Patriots didn't. They leaked stuff to the media. They didn't give him the salary. They didn't respect him on some of his personnel needs. Like, all of us should be rooting for Brady over the organization because all of us are just employees. And what Tom basically said is,